in the heart of a forgotten industrial town where shadows danced with the flickering streetlights. Static Susan lived alone in her modest apartment, a recluse shrouded in mystery. Her days were spent buried under mountains of paperwork, each sheet marked with cryptic notes and bizarre symbols. The walls of her home bore strange graffiti, remnants of an unseen struggle. Yet no one dared to ask about it. One stormy night, as the wind howled like a banshee through the empty streets, Static Susan's phone began to ring relentlessly from her own number. Her heart leapt into her throat. She knew this wasn't right, but with nowhere else to turn, she answered the call, hoping for some small comfort in the darkness. "Hello," she croaked, her voice echoing off the cold walls of her room. There was no response at first, just static and a faint hum that seemed to pulse through the air. Then, from the depths of the line, came a voice unlike any other. The voice, Static Susan thought to herself, recognizing the chilling timbre. It spoke in riddles, its words weaving together like dark tapestries of nightmare. "You're trapped, dear girl," it purred. "Trapped in this world with no escape." The phone clicked off abruptly, leaving Static Susan alone once more with the sound of her own pounding heart. The house seemed to close in around her, a heavy presence that pressed down on her like an unyielding weight. She tried to ignore the strange sounds, the faint whispers that danced through the silence, but they grew louder, clearer. "Echo Man," she whispered to herself, the name echoing back with a chilling familiarity. He was the one who followed her, always just out of sight, his footsteps a rhythmic tapping that seemed to mock her isolation. As dawn broke over the town, Static Susan realized that her world had become a nightmare. The phone continued to ring, each call more desperate than the last. She could feel Echo Man's presence growing stronger, as if he were closing in, waiting for the moment when she would be vulnerable. The night grew long, and fear gnawed at her like a ravenous beast. The darkness seemed to crawl closer, its tendrils reaching into every corner of her room. Static Susan fought back with every ounce of strength she had, clinging to the illusion that there was still some way out. But as the first light of day gave way to an oppressive gray, she knew the truth. She was trapped, forever entwined with the voice and Echo Man in a twisted game of eternal torment. There would be no escape from this nightmare world, no respite from the relentless terror that consumed her. In the end, Static Susan lay on her bed, listening to the phone ring once more from her own number. But this time, there was no voice to answer. No whisper, no laugh, just the cold, empty silence of an eternal abyss.